But the thing about him is that he's very sweet. He knows what he wants, so he knows how to get it. So he's very romantic. He's the man. He'll have you thinking that he's Superman, right? And so he will take you to the moon and back.
Hello, welcome back again to my channel. My name is Rebecca Kisidu, aka Mrs. Kiss. I'm excited today because we get to talk about the Oga of the temperaments, the cholerics in the temperaments and personality types that we've been discussing in relationship. And I'm excited again to bring back Liz Inchi, and she's gonna do justice just like she did with the phlegmatics. So let's get right on to the cholerics. Who are the cholerics?
The cholerics, like you said, they are the Oga of the temperaments. The Ogas are, I said the Ogas.
They really are.
They really are. Okay, but okay, so the choleric, these are the visionaries, honey. These are the people who are go-getters. They work hard, they have a vision, they are force. They're like the bulldozers. Like, they make things happen. They want to see movement. And so when it comes to our great cholerics, they are the ones that make things happen.
Let me also try and describe the cholerics.
Okay.
The cholerics are the strong people in the group, very focused, goal-oriented. They don't care what it takes to get the job done. They're very competitive people, yes. And they're very opinionated people.
Very opinionated.
Yes, and most of the time they think they're always right.
They are very detailed, yet they think their ideas are always the best, and they will do whatever it takes for people to follow what they're saying.
What are some of their weaknesses?
For the choleric, their weakness is that they sometimes are not sensitive. Well, for the most times, they are not sensitive to people. They're very opinionated. They judge people a lot. They're very dismissive. They are like straight to the point, abrasive. They come across aggressive. We're trying not to step on toes here, but
you got to do justice to it, man.
They're very self-confident.
So let's look at the choleric young lady. Cleric single woman.
Yes. Okay, so the choleric single woman, this is the lady that gets things done. She's the one most likely she's a natural leader, and she's getting things done. Like, she doesn't have time for the little things, like the little distractions. Very confident, very bold in her opinions. She doesn't really care how it's taken. She says what she has to say, and that's it, and everybody's gonna be all right.
Yes, and I think sometimes too, they are very, if you're in a relationship with a choleric single woman, she might probably push you you will do what she's gonna say.
She's very controlling. Yeah. The choleric single woman is a controlling woman, and she's gonna get you. If she has to snatch you, she's gonna get you.
Snatchers.
Snatch you. That's what she's going to do. She gets what she wants, and she's gonna tell you, and she doesn't compromise on that.
I don't like to get into all that your feminist, group, that kind of leader control, knows what they want, and they lead in that aspect. Let's move on to the choleric young man.
But the thing about him is that he's very sweet. He knows what he wants, so he knows how to get it. So he's very romantic. He's the man. He'll have you thinking that he's Superman, right? And so he will take you to the moon and back. And so he's very strong. He's confident in himself. He's confident in his approach to you. He just comes across as he has it all together. He has a plan. He's very strong. He's very masculine. He's a visionary. So you kind of see that he probably has a lot of projects that he's working on. So yeah, and they're very straightforward. If they want to be with you, they want to be with you. They're very confident. Some of them may not have it all together, but they're confident and they will still approach you.
If a choleric man is dating or courting you because, honey, you are going to be his wife. If they say they will marry you, they're the ones who pull up the proposal and pull up the wedding dates and be part of the wedding organization because they have their own set of ideas. and they will bring it to the table. They
Sure will.
to take. They know how the decorations to be. They know how they don't want watch it at their wedding reception. They could be termed as too known or
very insensitive in how they speak and how they are very dismissive to people. They like to dominate. You'll see that most introverts, when they get around a choleric, it's a turnoff sometimes, and sometimes they don't feel like they have room to express themselves, so they turn inward. And that's why sometimes these introverts look like they are they're weak, but they're not weak.
Let's move on to the choleric wife and the choleric husband. What would you say about that, or how they behave?
Choleric women are the showrunners in their households. They're the ones that have the details. They tell everybody when and how they're going to do everything. They have a plan. They have the vision for the family. They know how things are supposed to be, how they want things to be. They come across very bossy, and they don't give the boss lady. They really don't give people room sometimes within the family to really express themselves. And sometimes because they're not sympathetic, they don't really have time to hear what people are saying. And so they're a bit dismissive with the emotions sometimes that are in the household. They're not down for excuses, speak about, our faith and how men are the head of the household. A lot of the choleric women take on that position. And sometimes if you have someone who is married to an introvert, which most likely they do marry introverts, you see they come across as the controlling wife who overpowers the husband.
The choleric wife is usually not the favorite of the husband's family because she is running the show in that house. If you come to the house and it's your son, sorry, it's the boss lady. So please, if your son is married to a choleric wife, respect, because if not, I'm sorry, but they're gonna put you in your place. And they are not wishy-washers. They would come up front. They would tell you.
They're
very straightforward. We'll move on to the in-laws, but how does the choleric husband behave?
The choleric husband, he is the showrunner. He has visions. This is the one that will open a business the next time he's somewhere else, starting something else, and has a new vision. He is always into something. He's not lazy. He's a very hard worker. He always has goals. The good thing about him is that he is not going to fail. It doesn't matter what it is. He's not going to fail. And but sometimes whenever they are pursuing their passions, they kind of forget the family, and they kind of forget their wives because they're so focused on what they need to do. So sometimes they have to be pulled back into place. The thing about a choleric, though, they don't want to fail at anything. And so you will find that if it's, something like marriage, and they're having a hard time and they really want the marriage, they will do whatever it takes to make the marriage work. So you are married to someone like that, you find that you have to compromise a lot of yourself to be with a choleric male or woman.
That's awesome. I think that is very true. What would you say about choleric parents?
Very strong-willed with their children. The parents that kind of tell you this is what you're going to do. Choleric parent has always given that pressure of success. And a lot of times children of choleric parents don't feel enough because of that pressure of you have to do this, you got to do this, you got to meet these goals, you got to make these grades. And sometimes that's too much for the children.
Yeah, I think they're the ones that would usually tell you, you're going to be a doctor, you're going to be a nurse, you're going to be this, and that's what you're going to do. They will set your life up for you.
They will
marry that man.
They organize their life, they organize your life, and they'll organize everybody else's life as well. The thing about a choleric parent is that they don't realize that what they're doing is harmful. They don't realize that as they are being aggressive and abrasive and sometimes being very angry, they don't know that sometimes they're affecting their children's self-esteem. They're affecting the love between them and their child. And so if you are a young person who has a choleric parent, the one thing you have to know is that the way they are, it's not something to shut you down. It's not done intentionally. It's really to build you up. Absolutely. But unfortunately, depending on who the person is and if the Holy Spirit is at work within that person, they kind of go overboard. It's important to communicate, like, dad, mom, like, you're pushing me, but this is where I'm at. And so hopefully there's room in the relationship where the child can express
themselves. So you can see a choleric spoiling their children to death, and you cannot say a word. No. Because that is their child, and they do what he says. You cannot go and correct a choleric parent. So if you're in a community and you have a choleric parent or somebody like that, just be careful how you get into their family, because they're very protective, and you cannot get into their circle or try to, inflame anybody around. And just support them and be loving and supportive, because sometimes I feel like even underneath all that, they still need some, they're ones who like confirmation, they like praise, so that their august self can come out well.
People who need affirmations, these are people who they're sensitive, even though they don't want to show anybody, they're very sensitive. And so it's important with the choleric, when you're dealing with the choleric, you recognize that as well, that you can bruise their ego. So with the choleric, you have to, recognize that their strength doesn't always mean that they're strong. They do have a weakness. They are sometimes insecure. And so when you're with them, you have to have a lot of patience, and you have to affirm them and encourage them and help them. But sometimes they need to recognize where they're misstepping to see a lot of change in them.
Right. Yeah. And what would you say about the choleric in-laws?
Cleric in-laws, say it like it is. I mean, they will tell you they don't like you, they don't like you. They're not gonna hide it. But you understand, we're just saying it baseline, right? This isn't for everyone across the board, because we have people who are cholerics, but with the help of God, they don't show up like how we're discussing it, because some people have learned how to handle certain situations, but for the most part, they're very clear on how they feel about you. They feel like sometimes in the marriage, they have to come in and fix things. You'll see these are the ones that are a little bit more intrusive than they need to be. They don't know boundaries. And so they overstep their boundaries a lot sometimes, or most times in a relationship. But most of all, you will know how they feel about you. And they're a little bit intrusive when it comes to the relationships.
Yeah, so I'll say that with the choleric and sanguine, the choleric is not fake. The sanguine can be fake, but the choleric is not fake. You see what you get what you see.
Get what you see, yes, that is true.
And the in-laws, like Auntie Yas said, they can seem like, the typical mother-in-law tag that people think, where, she is in Ghana or wherever she is, but she's definitely running the show in that house.
In America.
Her presence is felt in that marriage.
Yes.
And they can mean well, and if they like you, they will support you. They will push you to accomplish things in your marriage.
For choleric father-in-laws, they're the ones that they have the final word, and you probably want them on your side.
Right. And I like what you said, that people listen to them.
Yeah.
Because they're straightforward, they know what they're saying, and they would be convincing, and they're the leaders. They tend to be the patriarchs of the family. Overall, what would you say about the cholerics in relationship and otherwise?
Okay, so we will go down the list. For a choleric woman, young woman who's waiting, one thing I would encourage is that you have to recognize that you have a strong personality, and you have to know that you have to marry somebody that you respect. And so when you're dating someone, do not date someone you do not respect, because it may seem like you're getting your way when you're dating, but it can cause something more tension whenever you get married. And so don't mistake introversion as weak. Internally, they're very strong people. And when they have made their minds up, they've made their minds. So don't take that for granted. And so it's important to marry someone who you respect. The same thing for the male choleric. Understand that the girl that you're with or you're pursuing has emotions. She also has thoughts. She also has plans. She also has agendas. And so it's important that you realize that it's not just your plan. And so when you're going into the relationship, introduce that, give her room to also share herself, or she's going to feel suffocated by you. When it comes to cleric wife, again, you have to respect your husband. You know, despite your natural ability to lead, to organize, to direct, it's important that you make room for your husband to be the man that he is. And that because of you have cleric women, clerics across the board know how to encourage. And so encouraging your husband to take that leadership role and not overstepping your boundaries, and allowing him to be a man and saying, you know, honey, what do you think about it? Whatever you say, we're going to support it. You know, sometimes you have to do that. You also have to be sensitive to emotions. You have to be sensitive to your husband's emotions. But overall, they're great women, you know, who have so much to offer in a marriage. They're the ones that you see that maybe if you started from a low place in life, that they're able to push you to a whole different level. And so they have a lot of strength in being able to change the circumstances around them for the better, because they are goal-getters. They don't give up. And so that's a beautiful strength that choleric women do bring into marriage, as well as for a man. Choleric male, again, because you're a visionary, your spouse most likely has a lot of trust and believes that you're going to succeed, but you don't want to do it forgetting your spouse. You don't want to forget your children. You want to make sure that as you're moving forward, that they're moving along with you. You have to consider other people, and you also have to be a little humble, because cholerics tend to be arrogant and have a lot of pride. I mean, I'm not a mother-in-law. I don't want to advise anybody's mother-in-law, but what I will say about a choleric mother-in-law is to respect boundaries. The thing about the choleric daughter-in-law that I would humbly, you know, advise is that humbly advise. What I would advise the daughter-in-law is, you know, it's called respect, and it's boundaries. You know, your husband that you have married has come from a family and has responsibilities too, and so you have to allow respect and love for your spouse, and allowing him to be the man, you know, in the relationship, to speak up when there are issues. Don't take that role from him. Mother-in-laws, you know, they're the patriarchs.
We salute them. We salute them.
All I can say is just make sure they're on your side.
Thank you so much again for doing this with me, and I hope that in the subsequent topics, we'll be bringing you on to share your wisdom with our subscribers. Again, please, if you haven't subscribed, you see how it's going. Please subscribe. Please like, comment. Let's know what you're thinking, and share the video so others will be able to join this conversation. Thank you so much, and God bless you.